Right, let's get to it. In our first story, the Accra Regional Police has arrested 4 Nigerians for their involvement in a number of cyber crimes. One of the suspects, picked up in a swoop on their residence at Ashongman Estate, confessed they were purposely brought in from Nigeria to engage in internet fraud. The police in recent days have vowed to clamp down on foreigners found to be engaged in criminal activities and also to go after landlords who give out their property to such persons. Here is Maxwell Agbagba's report on this latest bust.
One of the suspects who spoke on behalf of the others said they had been brought into Ghana from Nigeria. He stated the Nigerian who rented the apartment for them at Ashongman Estate left Ghana the morning before the police stormed the house.
He left early this morning. His father was having a sick problem, I think. So he left early this morning from Nigeria. We start from 9 to 4 in the morning.
Police say 30 laptops were found where they were operating. Director of Operations of the Accra Region Police, ACP Kwesi Ofori, says the police will not relent in its efforts to clamp down on foreigners engaged in crime.
They raised that sort of criminal gang where people employ young men from foreign countries to come to our state and embark on these cyber fraud activities. And I believe that the police will go all out to get them and prosecute them. We will not allow foreigners to come to our country, use our country facility to advance cybercrime and other fraudulent activities. No, we will not permit. The police will ensure that we safeguard the state integrity and the integrity of our people. Trying to break into people's accounts, trying to engage in other serious cyber crimes. And I think the laptops are of evidential value to us. And also we are appealing to Ghanaians, to report such characters, to the police so that the law might take its course.
The Ghana Immigration Service has also warned landlords will be held liable if they are found to have rented out their properties to non-Ghanaians without checking their immigration status.
We expect any property owner who intends to rent out such property to a non-Ghanaian to first of all check on the immigration status of that non-Ghanaian. And for that, the law says that if you ignore this and go ahead to rent out such property to the non-Ghanaian and you are found out, you are liable of contravention of the Immigration Act 2000.
Let's take you to the Upper West region now, where the chairman of the Trades Union Congress, Council of Labour, Ibrahim Wima, has cautioned government against putting the country's security services under the Social Security and National Insurance Trust pension scheme. Now, he says it is evident that workers who are under that SNIT pension scheme are now worse off. He's cautioned that his team will solidarize with the security services to lay down their tools if government goes ahead to implement it. Mr. Wima made the statement at the May Day celebration in Wa. Here's Rafiq Salam's report.
Otherwise known as Workers' Day, it's a day set aside to celebrate workers globally and recognize their contributions to the growth and development of businesses and nations. The day is often commemorated to bring to the fore issues bordering on workers' rights and responsibilities. In the Upper West region, over 1,000 unionized workers drawn from both public and private sector organizations first converge at the forecourt of the Upper West Regional Coordinating Council before going on a procession through some principal streets in the Wa Township amid brassband music. They were finally addressed by the leadership of the various labor unions in the region at the Nasiri Bombe II Park. Trades Union Congress Upper West Regional Council of Labour Chairman Ibrahim Wima admonished the government not to put the country's security services under the Social Security and National Insurance Trust pension, as there's evidence the workers who are on pension and are under them are now worse off.
Cap 30 was cancelled in the 90s. However, permit me to sound a word of caution now. Honorable Regional Minister, do not make such mistake again by stopping Cap 30. For our brothers in the security services, do not bring the security services into Senate pension. Don't just do it. Organized labor will not hesitate to lay down our tools in supporting the security services anytime. If an attempt is made to bring the security services into Senate pension, the Senate pension all over the country, we are crying now because our retirement has been made worse off.
Upper West Regional Minister Dr. Hafiz bin Sali commended workers, especially public and civil servants in the region, for their enormous contribution since the creation of the region some 36 years ago. Dr. Hafiz noted that the country will be better off now that government has ended its program with the International Monetary Fund, IMF.
With the end of the program, government has created employment opportunities and recruited many young graduates into the public sector. Apart from jobs created for graduates under the Nation Builders Corps, government has recruited about 2,000 production and agricultural extension officers across the country to support the Planting for Food and Jobs program. Currently, plans are underway to recruit staff for the newly created districts and regions. Recruitment of health professionals such as doctors and nurses are currently ongoing throughout in the country.
Some workers were rewarded for their hard work and contribution to the development of the country. Reporting for JoyNews, Rafiq Salam.
Unmistakable Rafiq Salam. Now, in the Ashanti region, residents of KOKOBEN in the Echuma district are accusing their political leaders of failing to respond to their appeal for support to complete a bridge in the area. Now, they say repeated promises by the Member of Parliament and District Chief Executive to provide resources to augment their contributions remain unfulfilled. A planned demonstration on Tuesday over the matter flopped as organizers were forced to beat a retreat due to poor participation. Nana Sensu-Mensah has more in this report.
We are telling the MP to come and help us to build this bridge. The landlord around here built the bridge, and this contractor and the AA Mart, they help us to build this bridge. So we are entreating the MP and the DCE to come and help us to build the bridge.
Parts of the community have been cut from the main KOKOBEN township as a result of a collapsed bridge linking the old and new towns. Affected landlords took up the challenge to initiate construction of the bridge, but support has eluded them. Residents pour out their frustration.
It is affecting our kids, and even the citizens, when they are sick, they don't have the access to the clinic. They have to pass the long way round before getting to the main street, and this is affecting the society and the community as large.
During heavy rains, this river overflow its banks and you could hardly cross to school. Most times, we get to school after first break. We have to use alternative route when it rains heavily, she says. With my kids, it is risky to cross the river when it rains. The MP and DCE could not be reached for comment. Nana Sensu-Mensah reporting.
Now, scientists are calling for policy interventions to prevent high levels of fruit and vegetable losses in Ghana, especially in the markets. Nutrition experts and collaborators say this is crucial for improving availability, access and consumption of fruit and vegetables, which obviously can contribute to preventing overweight and obesity. The scientists were attending a consultative workshop and meeting as part of researching into the obesogenic food environment. That's ROFE, a project implemented in South Africa and Ghana. Kwesi Deborah has more in this report.
Recent studies in Ghana show most households depend on traditional markets to source their food, including processed. Wide variety, lower price and proximity dictate preference. Professor Aite believes non-segmentation of the market has done little to encourage fresh food consumption.
There's been done an evaluation of our LEAP program that shows that a good chunk of it, when people take the money, is actually used for buying food. What we don't know is the kind of food that they are buying with it, because we don't have a condition that says that you need to use it for this kind of food or the other. Perhaps we could do better by learning from others, but you can't segment the market. It's a private place, but ensure that you then put in a mechanism that makes the fresh produce more appealing. One way of doing that is to find a way of giving subsidies.
Kamel Mohammed of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture urges urban farmers to make fresh foods available for local consumption.
Urbanization is taking a toll on us, and hence most of this ultra-processed food being readily available for us to make use of. And I think if you encourage people to go into the urban farming, i.e. rearing and intensive rearing of poultry or other ruminants and production for community consumption and home consumption.
President of Ghana Nutrition Association, Dr. Kingsley Preko, noted the country's food regulations have failed to match changing food environment.
Yeah, here is the case that we are having quite a changing food marketing environment, changing food chains and stuff like that in the country, that the older existing laws have not really previewed some of these happenings that we are looking at. If you look at food regulation, yes, there are a lot of food regulation exercises that are going on, but you could see much focus on processed foods that are coming in the country and all that.
Researching obesogenic food environment is a 3-year joint study between Ghana and South Africa. The program, funded by International Development Research Center, seeks to understand changing nature of food marketed in poor communities in both countries. Drivers of changes and potential lift to improve healthiness of local food market are among the objectives. The second phase of the program focused on retail, energy and value chain governance. The third phase analyzes governance and political economy and identifies policy opportunities. Researchers embarked on a learning journey, visiting Dako farms in Kumasi, food warehouses, vendors and market centers. Principal investigator Dr. Reginald Ajete believes it will equip stakeholders with a tool to better address identified problems.
So as part of the ROFE project, we are embarking on this learning journey in Ghana, where we are trying to go to the producers of food and to see how things work around there, and also to look at the various markets where foods are retailed and where foods are sold.
Reporting for JoyNews, Kwesi Deborah.
Back here to Accra, where the Food and Drug Authority is being urged to clamp down on the many detergents with toxic chemicals being sold in the country. The managing director of cleaning firm Sparklean Company Limited says members of the general public are often ignorant about such toxic chemicals and their impact on the health. Diana Owusu-Kisi, who led her staff to clean up the Lekma Hospital here in Accra, said the FDA would have to educate Ghanaians on the harmful effects of such cleaning agents on the market. Here's a report put together by Henry Kwesi Bedu.
As part of the company's campaign to promote cleanliness at public health facilities, over 200 employees joined in the cleanup at the Lekma Hospital. The company's MD also urged the public to be wary of such harmful cleaning agents.
Some chemicals actually contain toxins. They are too harsh for humans. In fact, some of them even have carcinogens, which can cause cancer, breathing problems, and other related diseases. So we want to make sure that what we are using is healthy, because when you are cleaning, you are breathing the fumes. And sometimes, even if it's healthy, the amounts that you use may not be good. You may overuse it, and that can harm you. So you have to even make sure that when you are cleaning, your dilution is also good. Normally, when you are buying something, look at the label. The label will tell you what is inside. And we have products that have been designed specifically for green cleaning, so they have the green seal. It really works. And we have most of them in the markets. They have a lot of them on the market. So that is their job, to protect us. So they should also be aware of some of these chemicals that can harm us. So when they actually certify a product, they have to be sure that the contents are good for consumption, and it is their duty. It's true that you may not be able to test all the chemicals, but to some extent, you can test.
Some patients at the Lekma Hospital were grateful to the company for the cleanup.
How they can clean here, no? I'm here before they start the dust, how they clear the dust, and then how the activities, the things, the instruments where they use for cleaning is very, very nice to us. Yeah.
So the place was very dusty.
Very, very dusty. So when they come and you see right now, you see everything clear.
Besides, the company has really done well, and I wish they would do it frequently, because when you look at Lekma Hospital, in fact, the floor alone can testify. But for now, you realize that the floor is very clean. So I suggest that they should come every holiday to do this cleanup exercise for us.
The Custodial Management Company says it has begun engaging other government hospitals across the country so they could join the sparkling healthcare campaign to keep health centers clean. Henry Kwesibedus report.
Well, that's where the news comes to an end. But of course, we've got so much more coming up, including what's in the newspapers. But we'll start off with the traffic situation. And it's a Thursday after a holiday. This is looking interesting out there. Stay tuned for that.